Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Emily and in today's video I will be creating this pull-out card featuring some of the newer products from Trinity stamps. And to start off, I wanted to share how I created this letter pressed background with some of the, this is one of the two new letter press dies from Trinity. And I have to say, this is one of the most effectful press plates I have used. There probably is a ton out there, but I really love the result that I got with this particular letter press. I can say die, right? But you understand what I mean. So I hope you can see how beautiful this is. I did it on top of some regular watercolor paper and some cream colored. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit off camera here, you will see how it looks, but it really gave that beautiful impression and texture with that cream color. So I'm very impressed with that one. For my focal point, I wanted to have sort of an earth. So I took the Full Moon 6x6 stencil that was released last year, and I inked it up with green on top of a light blue panel to create earth. And then I stamped out another Orbit 4x8 stamps on top of some Nina 80-pound cardstock, and then I colored it in with my Copic markers. I will not spend too much time here on screen showing you how I created my astronauts. I basically used 2 to 3 markers for every sort of color family here and just gave them some shading, but I didn't do that much, so I don't want to bore you with that coloring. I'm no expert at coloring at all. I just like to have bright and fun colors, and the colors should in some way be incorporated in all the elements that I'm using. That is sort of my go-to when I'm creating. So you can see I have that teal, and I have the teal in the balloon as well. I have the yellow on all of my elements. So you can see I'm not mixing too many, but I also like my rainbow, so I'm keeping it. I have a lot of colors, but I try to make them fit into all of the product images that I'm coloring in. Hope that makes sense. At least the most part of them are incorporated in many of the elements. So you can see here I'm just using some gray markers to create the black. I don't like to use black if I don't really have to. I like to use gray instead, so I can get that sort of shading effect going on. If I had just used black, that would be very hard against my more soft colors. So you can see I'm using sort of a combination of C8, C5 and maybe C7 as well. So they are not even the darkest gray colors that I have. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Going in with some more hot pink here, just love it. I think it turned out so cute. Just love these guys. And then we'll see here, we need some shading to the parts that are going to be remaining white. So I just took some really light gray marker and just flicked it. Then for our moving mechanism, I pulled out the emergency card die set number 3, and there is a pull out mechanism in that set. Sorry about my hand and arm here being in the way. But in this set there is 2 dies that create this long white piece and then this piece that looks like an H. And that's the thing that's gonna make this work, and I need to cut another one of these. I will do that off camera. And around this H I'm just wrapping some plastic. This is really thin plastic, and I'm having some really strong adhesive tape. That is what I found worked best. I wouldn't use liquid glue for this or tape runner. I would use some really heavy. This one is from Trinity Stamps, so I know this will work. Then I'm taking some more of that strong tape and putting it to the top of this one, on top of the already adhered part, if that makes sense. Making sure I'm not ripping this plastic, attaching it, And then I'm turning this over. You can see that it will move. Turning it over, doing the same thing. So this is in the lower position. And then I can do this, rip it off. Put another one here. So you will see when I pull one, the other one will also pull. So hopefully you can see that. You will see it better when I'm putting my characters on top. And you can see I'm gonna hide my mechanism behind the earth that we created. And then I will have my astronauts peeking out underneath my large image here. And here I'm using some foam on the sides to make sure that I have a really good lift. And then you can see we have two parts sticking out here. So now I'm just checking how far I can go under this image and how much will be peeking through, if I can get the whole image out. So I actually could. So that is so cute. That is actually what I'm going to do. So first off, I'm stamping pull, and this is from one of those really great sets from Trinity that had all of these sentiments for interactive cards. I'm just making sure that I'm filling in some of the white space here and just creating some highlights before I move on. So I'm doing that to all of my images before I start to attach them. So I'm just using a white liquid pen. I can link this down below as well, because I think Trinity is now carrying these markers. So you can see I will have my balloons sticking up and my little astronaut peeking underneath. So now I can go ahead and attach him. Now that I know exactly where I want him to be, I can sort of fiddle until I have him in the perfect position. So I'm happy with him there. Then I can go ahead and cut away everything underneath him. And this is something I really love with coordinating dies, because now when I'm done with this, I can just take another piece, a piece that I cut out of some white paper, and just make that a little bit sturdier by just making sure that I am having him sandwiched between these. You can see I cut a little bit off. It's just because he was a little bit too large to fit underneath my image, but now it's moving freely. So I love that. You can see how cute that is. And for our second guy, I'm making sure that I have him tucked underneath as well, gluing him to the bottom here, making sure that I like how everything looks. And when I'm happy with it, I am going to start cutting away the white space here as well. So now you can see I can move this over, attach the white piece once more, so I have this to be very sturdy. And then I can go ahead and cut away everything underneath. If I had done this, I probably should have done this before I attached this. So I got smarter here and just peeled it away before the liquid glue had dried completely. So now I don't need to do that super fine. I can just do it a little bit roughly. And then I can attach that back piece again. For my sentiment, I pulled out that same stamp set as I used for the astronaut. This one is another Orbit 4x8 stamp set. And in this set there is a sentiment that says happy birthday. You can have it on top of the flag, I think. But I decided to have it just as a long strip. I heat embossed it off camera, and then I will cut this into 2 pieces so I can fit it on top of my card here. So we will say happy and then birthday underneath. And then the recipient can pull our little balloons and reveal our 2 extra helpers or whatever, astronauts. So cute. And I just love these sentiments. I think they really, since they are black, they really tie this card together with all of the black we have on our stamps. Super cute. And then I'm attaching this to a standard A2 size card base, sorry. Attaching my card base to the card front. And you can see I messed up with this panel, but I decided to keep it anyway because I know I would cover all of this up. And you can see how cute that is, and when the recipient pulls the little astronaut, the other one will follow. So cute. I hope you enjoyed this project. You will get a close-up here. I actually created another card featuring a different pull-out mechanism, but that was completely inspired by this one. So if you like me to create a tutorial of how I created my other little moving this one, let me know and I can share how I created this one. It's sort of sapping up carrots, so cute as well. So leave me comments down below if you'd like to see another tutorial of how I created that one. Hope you got inspired to create something, and I will have links down below for all of the products that I used in this video, and I will soon be back with some more videos. Until next time, have a great day. Bye!